In January, the Duchess of Sussex delayed the release of her highly anticipated Netflix show, With Love, Meghan. This move caught the attention of the public, especially considering the timing. The royal family, never one to shy away from strategic PR, made their own announcement just one day before the original release date. The Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, was photographed at the Royal Marsden Hospital, revealing that she was now in remission from cancer. It seemed more than just coincidental that this announcement was timed to overshadow the launch of Meghan's show. Was this a calculated effort to take the spotlight off of Meghan, or simply a well-timed announcement in her recovery? In January, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, delayed the release of her Netflix series With Love, Meghan, a lifestyle show designed to reflect her interests in cooking, wellness, and life outside of the royal family. The delay, whether due to production reasons or to avoid competing with other significant events, stirred interest and speculation. However, what caught the attention of the public and media was the timing of the delay. Just one day before the original release date of Meghan's show, the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, made a public appearance at the Royal Marsden Hospital in London. This visit was particularly newsworthy because Kate announced that she was in remission from cancer, a major and personal development in her life. The announcement seemed more than just a routine royal visit. It appeared to be a well-timed maneuver to distract attention from Meghan's delayed Netflix series. The strategic nature of this public health update sparked immediate comparisons to Meghan's past struggles with negative press and royal criticisms. The timing was seen by many as deliberate, a calculated attempt by the royal family to overshadow Meghan's anticipated show. It wasn't just a health announcement, but a move to control the media narrative, particularly when it seemed that the public spotlight was poised to shift to Meghan and her new project. But the delay also gave the royal family, especially the Windsors, more time to prepare their own counter-narratives. The timing of the announcement from Kate was all too familiar for those following the long-running tensions between the Sussexes and the royal family. It raised the question, was this simply a coincidence, or was it part of a larger strategy to preemptively divert attention from the release of Meghan's show? With the delay of With Love, Meghan giving the royal family more time to prepare, they have recycled the same old tactics. The return of Jason Nauf, the former royal aide, has become a key part of the royal family's ongoing narrative. Nauf has spoken out again, this time in an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, reviving the narrative that Meghan had bullied staffers. Despite his statements being vague and not directly addressing the allegations, the British media has once again latched onto this storyline. This feels like déjà vu for those who remember the media frenzy surrounding the bullying accusations from 2021. As the months passed and Meghan's show was delayed, the royal family and their allies in the media seemed to regroup and recycle the same strategy they had used in the past. A familiar figure returned to the spotlight, Jason Nauf, a former aide to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Nauf had previously been involved in the email scandal that led to the accusations of bullying against Meghan. His re-emergence in public was seen as more than just a coincidence. In an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, Knauf revisited the allegations, suggesting that his email to senior royal staff, which prompted the investigation into Meghan's behaviour, was justified. Despite Knauf not directly addressing the bullying allegations in his interview, the media latched onto his statements, framing them within the context of the ongoing narrative that Meghan was a bully. This felt like a rerun of the events of 2021, when similar accusations were made against Meghan, and became a central part of the media discourse surrounding the Sussexes. The fact that Nauf had stayed largely out of the limelight after his initial involvement in the controversy, only to suddenly appear again just ahead of the Netflix launch, sparked suspicions about his role in the media strategy. For those familiar with the royal family's media tactics, the timing of Knauf's statements felt like a deliberate effort to revive the Meghan as a bully storyline. It was clear that despite the passage of time, the royal family and their allies were not ready to let go of this narrative. Instead of letting the Sussexes move on and live their lives outside of the royal fold, the monarchy and the British press seemed intent on continuing to push this narrative. One of the most contentious aspects of this drama is the infamous bullying dossier that was created after an email from Knauf was leaked to the Times of London. The palace responded by launching an investigation through an independent QC. This investigation gathered testimony from former staffers of the Sussexes, but the results were never made public. The dossier was allegedly buried by the palace, leaving questions about its contents. Why didn't the palace release the findings? Some speculate that it was an effort to protect the fragile peace between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family, especially given the state of Queen Elizabeth II's health and the future of King Charles. Regardless of the reasons, the secrecy surrounding the investigation continues to stir debate. The controversy surrounding the bullying allegations against Meghan had been ignited back in 2021 when an email from Jason Knauf was leaked to the press. The email had outlined concerns about Meghan's treatment of staff, leading Buckingham Palace to launch an internal investigation into the claims. The palace brought in an independent QC to oversee the investigation, hoping to ensure neutrality and transparency. The investigation involved testimony from former staffers of the Sussexes, who were asked to speak about their experiences working with Meghan and Harry. However, the investigation was shrouded in secrecy, and the results were never made public. This led to considerable speculation. What was contained in the bullying dossier that Buckingham Palace refused to release? Why was it buried? And what did it reveal about the inner workings of the royal family? The lack of transparency surrounding the investigation only fueled public interest and debate. While the palace maintained that the findings were confidential, others believed that the secrecy was less about protecting Meghan and more about protecting the monarchy itself. If the investigation had revealed systemic issues within the royal household or pointed to toxic behaviour by other members of the family, it could have undermined the carefully curated public image of the royal family. The refusal to publish the dossier led to numerous theories about its contents. Some insiders suggested that the dossier was buried to protect the fragile peace between the Sussexes and the royal family. At the time, Prince Philip had made barbed comments about Meghan, and both Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Charles were focused on maintaining harmony within the family as tensions ran high. The idea of publicly airing royal grievances, especially when the Queen's health was deteriorating and Charles was preparing to assume the throne, was seen as too risky. But the refusal to release the investigation results only raised more questions. The secrecy surrounding the bullying investigation raises several questions. Why did Buckingham Palace decide not to make the results public, especially considering the gravity of the accusations? Some insiders suggest that it was an effort to maintain peace within the royal family. At the time, Charles and the Queen were working to preserve harmony, particularly with tensions running high between the Sussexes and the rest of the family. The decision to bury the dossier could have been a strategic move to avoid further public drama, but it has led to more speculation than clarity. The central question surrounding the bullying dossier remains: why was it buried? The palace's decision to keep the findings of the investigation under wraps continues to baffle observers. Some argue that the decision was made out of a desire to protect Meghan, but that seems unlikely given the public and media pressure. Instead, many believe that the true reason was to protect the monarchy and its key members. At the time of the investigation, the royal family was in a delicate position. Prince Harry and Meghan had already stepped back from their royal duties, and the public drama surrounding their departure had put the family in the spotlight. The palace, especially Prince Charles and the Queen, were desperate to avoid further divisions within the family. By keeping the bullying allegations private, the royal family was able to manage the narrative and avoid further damage to their reputation. Furthermore, some royal watchers argue that the decision to bury the dossier was an attempt to protect the image of certain senior royals, particularly Prince William. William, who had been deeply involved in the royal family's media strategy and who had reportedly been frustrated with Meghan, could have been seen as a central figure in the alleged smear campaign against her. If the dossier had been released and revealed toxic behaviour within Kensington Palace, it could have further strained relationships between the Sussexes and the rest of the family. As the drama surrounding the Sussexes continues, insiders claim that Prince William is deeply invested in the narrative surrounding Meghan. This suggests that Knauf, who worked closely with William and Kate, did not speak out without the tacit approval of the future king. The relationship between William and Knauf is key to understanding why this narrative has resurfaced. Knauf is now seen as a potential ticking time bomb, with knowledge of some of the most devastating details about Meghan's time in the royal family. Could Knauf's public statements be the beginning of a larger story about the Sussexes? Or is this all just an ongoing PR campaign to tarnish Meghan's image? As the media and royal insiders dissect the ongoing saga between the Sussexes and the royal family, one figure consistently emerges as being particularly invested in the narrative surrounding Meghan Prince William. There are growing whispers that William is not only behind some of the negative press about Meghan, but that he may have been instrumental in the return of Jason Knauf to the public eye. Knauf, who worked closely with William and Kate during their time in the royal household, seems to have a strong connection to the future king. His public statements about Meghan, particularly regarding the bullying allegations, raise the question of whether William tacitly approved of or even orchestrated Knauf's re-emergence. Knauf, as a key figure in the royal family's communications team, was privy to some of the most sensitive details about the Sussexes' time in the royal fold. His knowledge of the inner workings of the royal household could be a ticking time bomb. He is one of the few people who has direct knowledge of Meghan's alleged behaviour, and his comments in interviews and public statements could be seen as a form of leverage. As a result, many observers believe that Knauf's continued involvement in the public narrative surrounding Meghan is part of a larger, more coordinated effort to undermine her reputation. For Prince William, the ongoing attacks on Meghan may be seen as part of a personal vendetta. As a brother-in-law who reportedly had a strained relationship with Meghan, William may feel that exposing her behaviour will ultimately protect the monarchy and its image. However, by continuing to focus on Meghan's past behaviour, William and those close to him risk alienating the public and causing further division within the royal family. Amid all the drama, it's worth remembering that Meghan's new show, With Love Meghan, is about cooking and entertainment. Nothing more, nothing less. Yet, despite the relatively harmless nature of a cooking show, the royal family and their allies in the media continue to launch attacks against Meghan. The fact that Jason Knauf's re-emergence is tied to the release of a cooking show rather than any deeper royal conflict highlights the absurdity of the entire situation. It begs the question, why is the royal family and their supporters so obsessed with controlling Meghan's narrative, even when it has nothing to do with the monarchy itself? In the midst of all this drama, it's crucial to take a step back and remember what the Sussexes are actually working on. Meghan's delayed Netflix series is a cooking and lifestyle show, something far removed from the ongoing royal family soap opera. With Love, Meghan is not about royal secrets, scandals, or media feuds. It's about Meghan sharing her love of cooking and hosting. Yet despite the harmless nature of the show, it has become the focal point of ongoing media attacks. The fact that the royal family and their allies continue to push this narrative of Meghan as a bully, even as she works on a cooking show, highlights the absurdity of the situation. Why, then, is so much attention still being placed on Meghan's personal projects, like a simple cooking series, when the royal family's own scandals are just as worthy of scrutiny? The obsession with controlling Meghan's narrative, even in such trivial matters, speaks to the larger dynamics at play within the royal family. It's as if Meghan's success and independence from the royal fold are intolerable, and so, even as she moves on to new projects, the royal family feels compelled to undermine her every step. This disproportionate focus on a cooking show, rather than the actual royal affairs, reveals the deep-seated tensions between the Sussexes and the Windsors. Meghan's continued ability to make a name for herself outside the royal family is a source of frustration for those who still wish to control her story. And so, the attacks continue, not because of anything particularly royal, but because Meghan refuses to conform to the role the royal family had envisioned for her.